My 13-year-old niece giggled. Mom says if you disappeared tomorrow, no one would even notice, while opening the $850 phone I bought her. All 30 guests laughed, except me. I nodded, and with 2 taps, I shut down every payment. Credit bills, subscriptions gone. For years, I'd paid Lindsay's rent, covered Dad's gambling debts, handled Mom's credit cards, and bought countless expensive gifts. I was the responsible one who always said yes when they needed money, but never really part of the family, just their walking ATM. The birthday party had 30 relatives gathered around. I'd driven straight from work to deliver that phone, another expensive gesture to show my love. My niece peeled away the plastic with delicate fingers, but her words cut like glass. Mom says if you disappeared tomorrow, no one would even notice. The room erupted in laughter. Lindsay smirked from the couch like she'd been waiting for this moment. Mom pretended not to hear from the kitchen, but her shoulders lifted in silent approval. Dad raised his beer and chuckled. Well, she's not wrong. Even Uncle Gary, who barely knew me beyond family dinners, snorted into his drink. Cousins grinned. 30 people laughed at my expense while I stood there like the fool I'd always been, the one who paid for everything but mattered to no one. But this time, something different happened. Instead of forcing a smile, I felt my phone in my pocket and made 2 quick taps. Every bill I paid, every subscription I managed, every credit line I'd set up for them, gone, just like that. The voices blurred into distant noise as I slipped out without saying goodbye. No one noticed me leave, the one thing my niece got right. I went home, packed essentials, then returned with an old black backpack. While they celebrated, I slipped inside, left it by the stairs, and disappeared forever. Inside was proof of everything. Receipts, bank statements, payment records showing exactly how much I'd done for people who thought I was nothing. The explosion came the next morning. Dad pounded on my door at dawn, shouting about betrayal and family loyalty. Mom sent desperate texts. How could you do this to your own family? Lindsay called 6 times, then messaged, you think we can't live without you? Fine, see how long you last without a family. That evening, they broke into my apartment using an old key. Dad stormed in red-faced, Mom behind him, both frantic about suddenly canceled credit cards and unpayable bills. You ungrateful little troublemaker, Dad snarled, stepping closer with clenched fists. Try it, I said calmly, still drying my hair from the shower. His hand trembled but didn't move. We both knew he wasn't a fighter, just a bully hiding behind words. The cards don't work, Mom's voice cracked. Lindsay can't pay bills. The mortgage bounced. Everything I paid for is over, I said. You think we need you? Dad laughed bitterly. Seems like you do, since you broke into my apartment just to beg. Dad later invited me to a football game, claiming he wanted to talk like men. When I arrived, he clutched my black backpack, thinking he'd found leverage against me. We found this, he said smugly. We know your secret, your lies. Open it then, I challenged. Let's see what you think you know. His confidence crumbled as I explained what was inside. Documentation of every sacrifice I'd made for people who saw me as nothing more than a wallet with legs. He tried to swing at me. His fist stopped inches from my face, trembling with rage and fear. I grabbed the backpack, pulled out financial records, and scattered them at his feet in front of other spectators. You want the truth? I announced. Proof of how I carried you, saved your house from foreclosure twice, paid your bills while you laughed behind my back. Dad's pride bled out on those cold stadium seats as I walked away from his broken voice calling after me. The weeks that followed were a masterclass in consequences. Bills piled up, friends stopped taking sides. Mom sent photos of the family in darkness with a single candle. We have nothing left. I deleted it without a second glance. Dad lost his job after too many temper tantrums. Lindsay's friends stopped calling. The relatives who sent Christmas cards went silent. But I flourished. I cooked for myself, slept peacefully, took long walks without desperate messages demanding my time and money.